I'm Dr. Sandra Brown. I'm an ophthalmologist in North Carolina, and I have no financial conflicts of interest. I'd like to bring to you Placentas from Strangers Part 2, Biological Eye Drops, Doctors, and Scam Pharma. This PowerPoint is satirical. You should watch Part 1, and also watch Biological Eye Drops, Clearing Up Misconceptions. If you've listened to some of my other videos and you don't like the sound of my voice or my sense of humor, this video will not be for you. So I can hear you asking, if this eye drop is a scam, why did my doctor recommend it? And I'm going to tell you something from inside the profession. We are all crazy busy, and we have historically depended on other people to bring new drugs or other treatments to our attention. This is not right, but it is reality. And the other people have been drug reps, device manufacturers, and our colleagues. They gave us pens, sticky notes, really good food. Well, what happened is that in 2010, most of the drug reps got kicked out of our offices by the Physician Payment Sunshine Act. There went the pens and the sticky notes. Well, all of that drug rep money had to flow somewhere, and one of the places it flowed was to trade journals. A trade journal looks like this. It's the size of a nice magazine. It's got a pretty colored cover, comes out once a month, does not contain peer-reviewed articles, does not contain original research. It's basically telling you what's new in the world of eye care. The rise of the trade journal allowed the further rise of a type of doctor known as a key opinion leader. A key opinion leader is someone who's willing to put their name on opinion pieces and to get up in front of audiences and positively discuss a new drug, product, or device. And they have to do this very carefully because if there's a really obvious conflict of interest or overt commercialism, the audience will not listen to them. So this is done very skillfully, often with slides created by the drug manufacturer. And the key opinion leader will be talking about science, but it's science which is chosen to help sell a product. And the effect of key opinion leaders is pretty well known. In fact, it's even been studied, but that doesn't mean that we can resist it. One reason why KOLs have a significant appearance of legitimacy is that they send their message through venues that have adult supervision. Trade journals have editorial boards, and conferences have presentation selection committees. Well, what happens when an editor of a trade journal is also on the clinical advisory board of a BED manufacturer? That's a pretty substantial conflict of interest, but you have to dig around really hard to discover that fact. Okay, my hiking buddy tells me I should skip all that KOL stuff and say, doctors are human, and humans can be misled, particularly by trusted colleagues whom we do not suspect of deliberately or accidentally deceiving us. What this means is that your doctor, with the very best medical intention, believed a KOL when they said that biological eye drops were the next good thing. Your doctor was misled. I think Scam Pharma is really allowing KOLs to drift to the dark side. A KOL can talk about an approved prescription drug and an on-label use, which is what the FDA specifically approved it for. They can talk about an approved prescription drug with off-label uses, which is everything else it might remotely be used for. Or they can talk about an illegal drug. And an eye drop containing proteins derived from placenta or amniotic fluid is an illegal drug. So Rebecca and I had this conversation. Does illegal seem like an okay word? She said, it's a pretty strong word. We're going to get into a lot of trouble. And we thought about that, and I said, well, okay, the FDA will defend us, right? And here's the reason why I think they might. Because this is what the FDA has to say about regenerative medicine therapies. Please know that if you are being charged for these products or offered these products outside of a clinical trial, you are likely being deceived and offered a product illegally. What makes a BED product illegal, or any product illegal? It is marketed and sold for treatment of one or more human diseases. It cannot be classified as an over-the-counter product. And, hello, manufacturer, there are actual rules about this. You do not get to make your own rules about whether your product is OTC. The FDA does not actually approve OTC products, but they do have rules about them. And it's not FDA approved. I'm aware that there are some really old drugs which can be sold legally but are not FDA approved, like morphine, because they're pre-FDA. So don't try that argument. Let's ask ourselves, are biological eye drops illegal? First of all, what's in it? The FDA says we'd like to know. The manufacturers talk about their complex protein mixtures and all the wonderful things those proteins do. And then some vehicles. Glycerin and saline, hyaluronic acid and saline. Key opinion leaders will tell you they are just like autologous serum tears, but more convenient. Are BEDs marketed and sold for the treatment of human diseases? The FDA says better not be. Manufacturers say dry eye, a couple different flavors of dry eye, blepharitis. KOLs will throw in some pretty bad diseases: Sjogren syndrome, Stevens-Johnson, recurrent corneal erosions. Do BEDs require FDA approval before selling? Yes, they do. Manufacturer number 1 says no because it's an HCTP. Number 2 says no because it's not an HCTP. KOLs probably do not know nor care what an HCTP is. If you're confused, there's a video about that. Does approval require human clinical trials? The FDA says yes, of course. This is what it means to be approved for the treatment of human disease. You got to find some humans with the disease and treat them with a drop. Manufacturer number 1 says that's not a drug. Manufacturer number 2 says no, don't need a human clinical trial. It's right there on their website. Blows me away. The KOLs say, hey, it's just like autologous serum tears, but more convenient. So, I don't think we need clinical trials. Do we? How about the argument that it's an over-the-counter eye drop? The FDA says no. Number 1 says yes. Number 2 says, hey, we haven't thought of that. Might be our next move. KOLs say, wow, they're OTC. Who can understand the FDA? Is there a daily med listing? FDA says, yes, there should be. Manufacturers say, we're over the counter. Number 2 says, we're just invisible. KOL probably has no idea what a daily med listing is. So I really think that adds up to biological eye drops meeting the FDA's definition of illegal. So the KOLs are basically risking whatever reputation they have left. They're promoting the sale of illegal eye drops. One hopes they're oblivious to the illegal marketing status and the bacterial contamination risks. They're promoting the use of these products for patient populations with high-risk diseases and persuading their colleagues of the safety and benefit based on zero clinical evidence. And let me assure you, they are not doing it for free. They've got other things to do with their time that will make them money. They're not doing this as a feel-good. Whether they're being directly paid, which you should be able to determine through the required reporting system, or whether there are oblique advantages, there is a direct personal benefit to being a KOL and promoting a biological eye drop. So let's start at the very beginning of the alphabet. A is for autologous. A key opinion leader is going to tell you that a biological eye drop is just like autologous serum tears, but more convenient. Hi, okay, this is me pulling on my hair, saying autologous means the patient donates it to themselves. Autologous use of any part of your body, which means you're using that part of your body to fix up some other part of your own body, has significantly lower regulatory hurdles because there is no infectious disease transmission risk and no risk of immune rejection. So if you're considering purchasing and using a placenta eye drop, just keep in mind, it's more similar to a mocha frappuccino than you ever suspected. I hope this PowerPoint presentation has brought to you some important issues for consideration and given you some background knowledge on biological eye drops, what is actually known about them, and what is incorrectly assumed about them. Thank you for listening.